What the city is talking about. This is Montreal Now on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
That is James Mennie. He is over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, it's 4:07 on a Monday. Do you know where your prime minister is?
Yeah, he's taking it easy. Did you see the latest thing now? It's like there's these guys. They're a bunch of. It's like a schoolyard fight that never happens after class, right? I mean, there was supposed to have been all hell breaking loose today. That's it. There's gonna be problems here. We got to get rid of this guy. We've got to take control of this part. And I'm saying, well, now we're going to maybe have a secret vote and see if people want him to stay. Trudeau doesn't care, and like these guys are slowly but surely losing their credibility on this. And I don't think that their issue is not serious. I fully concur. Justin Trudeau has to go unless you want to see this party, the Federal Liberal Party, literally get paved over by Pierre Poilievre for no other reason than the fact he's not Justin Trudeau. But there you are. That seems to be the situation. The cabinet and I guess the entourage are solidly with Justin Trudeau, and that's just swell. There's a huge online campaign. I stand with Trudeau. He's the best thing since sliced bread, and once again focusing on the fact he's not Pierre Poilievre. Sooner or later, that election is going to come, Aaron, whether it happens early or whether it happens on schedule next fall. Fact of the matter is, unless these numbers change and change radically, it is going to be a bloodbath for the Liberals. And quite frankly, I don't see. I mean, I was just listening to you talk to Mark Miller before, and like I said, I'm a big fan of his. He's a stand-up guy. But I got to tell you, even he is playing defense for this government in terms of their flip-flop and immigration policy. And quite frankly, you have to wonder how long it's going to be before people like Mr. Miller and others in cabinet, who on the one hand figure they're doing their duty as good soldiers, realize this is a lost cause, and their general's not really quite aware of what's going on around them.
Yeah, you have to wonder, though, to your point, Jim, how long that does go on for, right? You take those body blows because, you're in that camp, you're a friend, you've known someone forever. And I heard one person, I think in an interview that Vashi did over the weekend, one of those 24, I don't know what we're calling them, the 24 Judases, I think, was someone referred to them, right?
That was Dimitri Soudis.
Yeah. But and he said that, the number was 24, but probably there are about twice as many people who were as concerned with the Prime Minister's future, right? So you have to wonder, that can't go on forever. You can deflect as much as you want, but at some point, the chickens are coming home to roost.
Oh, absolutely. And the question is right now, and this cabal of dissidents is kind of being, the object of derision because they're not really getting anything done, and they keep saying they're going to do something, but then they keep postponing. We'll have a secret vote. We'll do this. We'll do that. You're quite right. Right now, I guess they're trying to appear to be good soldiers, but concerned soldiers working for the good of the party. But when the whole idea of political survival or professional survival, and you don't want to be part of this, what is going to be absolute party.
Okay, Jim, we're losing on the phone. Did you move? Can you spin around 180 degrees? You were just falling off there.
I'm not. Have you? I wonder if you guys pay your cable bill, because honestly, Am I coming through okay?
Yeah. Are you on a landline, Jim? Or?
No, I'm on my handy dandy landline.
Yeah. Have you paid your cell phone bill?
I'm on the landline. Let me go pump some water there, Aaron. Then I'll come back on the landline.
Yeah, maybe you haven't paid your cell phone bill. Either way, that's fine. Let me move on and get to the other story. You kind of mentioned it a minute ago in passing, this PSPP, the PQ idea about how to deal with immigration. Clearly, the answer is robots.
Listen, I have not stinted in my praise of the Parti Québécois. I've said they've done excellently as the second opposition party for all of 4 seats in the National Assembly, and yet they seem to be the government in waiting. But every now and then you stumble. And so here's a good pro tip for Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon. When you announce a policy position, and the initial reaction is the jokes write themselves, you've pretty well made a mistake. And we cannot ignore the fact that nice Mark Miller, who you just had on, in the last half hour actually was able to work in a robot crack about the Parti Québécois.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be around as next for a while. Face it. I mean, they're saying, well, we're looking at the examples of places like Germany and Japan and South Korea, and I'm thinking, you mean these places with red-hot economies as opposed to the $11 billion deficit of Quebec? What are you smoking, man? I mean, I realize that you want to justify cutting it down to like this ridiculous 40,000 level, and we've got to look after our own and this and that and blah blah blah. But my God, the reason Quebec business owners even today are decrying the PQ plan is they've got no one to do the work. And I'm very sorry, you cannot create this army of robots, who probably can't even speak French, Aaron, and they can't join the union, and so the CSN is going to be up in arms. And it's probably unlikely if you give them the vote, they're going to vote for the PQ because they'll figure that it's completely illogical. So there you go. What a silly idea. I'm amazed it actually rose to the surface. But are we seeing as well perhaps the real weakness on the part of the Parti Québécois, which is something we've alluded to from the very beginning? It's not so much that these guys are great, are marvelous. I'm sure they're fine fellows. The fact is, they're not Francois Legault, which is why they're racking up those numbers. But when push comes to shove, sooner or later, you got to govern. And I don't think R2-D2 is going to be your answer.
It's funny. As soon as you said union, and you're right, I thought to myself, well, maybe not, though, because the robots can organize their own union, right? I mean, they're perfectly capable of doing that. So maybe that would fit in perfectly with Quebec.
Listen, buddy, when the robots organize, the last thing you're going to have to worry about are unions.
Fair enough. All right. So let me move on to one last thing here, which has to do, and this is a fairly, it's a serious matter. It didn't take long, I don't think, for Lionel Carman, who's the provincial minister, right, to say to the woman running the youth protection system in the province, you need to hand in your resignation now, implying that if you don't, I will. So it's done, but it does highlight just how badly this thing has been running.
Oh, man, but you know what? This is not a new story. And the departure of Catherine Lemay, who was the head of the DPG, is not going to solve things. I've been in this line of work for 4 decades. In each of those decades, Aaron, if I have not seen the headline that included the words fell through the cracks in the youth protection system at least a dozen times, I never saw it at all. There are calls that Mr. Carman appeared for to answer some questions about the state of the youth protection system. I think it's time for a public inquiry to get right. And you know what? I'm sure there are people there who are saying it's the last thing that they want to find out, that just how broken this system is. But I have to tell you, the allegations of what happened in that youth detention center going on for 2 years, if you have that sense of impunity, there's something rotten to the core in that system, Aaron, and it's got to be brought to light as quickly as possible. Because on the one hand, yes, we're talking about young people who have committed very heinous crimes who were put in that center, but that system extends to all kids in this province. And there have been some real questionable calls made. Another issue that M. Carman had with Mme Lemay was how a DPG center in Le Centre du Québec was taking kids away from their families and putting them up for adoption, that's a completely different territory, but that's how vast the mandate of the Youth Protection Service is. We really, really need, I don't think it'll happen to this government, but we need a full-blown diving bell scale inquiry into the youth protection system here. That's not focusing on one issue. Get right to the guts of it. Let the chips fall where they may. But right now, the one message that's becoming clear to Quebecers is that system. Every time we look at that system, there's something deeply wrong with it, and we keep finding something new wrong with it virtually every other month.
But to your point, Jim, and yeah, you've been doing this for a long time. We've heard these stories in the past. How or maybe why does this keep happening? It can't be that difficult a thing to fix knowing how broken it's been.
I have to tell you, Aaron, I'm not just talking, I'm not whining here as a journalist. I have never seen a government agency get away with more with covering its own tracks by saying, no, you can't write this, you can't write that, we can't say this, we can't say that, because it's to protect the identities, protect the future of the young person, which is a pile of crap. Okay, we've seen how well these kids are being protected. The fact is they have the DPG has surrounded itself with this ironclad wall of confidentiality, which quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, has been used for no other reason than to cover what is really, I'll be kind, I'll just say incompetence at this point, a very high level of incompetence within the system. No, I'm not saying they're all bent. I'm not saying they're all incompetent. I know for a fact there are very, very dedicated people in that system. How they stay there, though, surrounded by this kind of a built-in insouciance over the very mission of protecting our kids amazes me. But all that said, it's high time the government, any government, really rolled up its sleeves, did its duty, and got to the bottom of what exactly is wrong with our system.
All right, before I let you go, real quick, La Presse poll shows more and more people, Montrealers, deciding not to go downtown for a variety of reasons. I mean, I don't know what in this is new. It's been this way for a while. What do you think?
It's sad, but you know what? It's utterly unsurprising, and to a certain extent, yes, downtown has been victim to a lot of issues from various City Hall administrations, but also I think to a certain extent it's been a victim of its own hubris. The idea that, where are they going to go? The 450? I got news for you. Yeah. They're going to the 450, yeah. Aaron. And it's not just for the shopping malls. There are restaurants. While this has been going on, while the downtown core has been staring at its own deteriorating navel for the past decade, things have been building up big time off the island, in the Couronne around the island. And a lot of people, I went out for dinner in a 450 restaurant, a very good one, very expensive one, and it was jam-packed. So please don't tell me that the only place you can get yourself a decent meal or enjoy some gastronomie is in downtown Montreal. It's a myth.
Jim, last question. Is it fair to call this administration anti-business?
No, it's business neglectful. I don't think it made a conscious decision to kick business in the teeth. It's even worse. It's indifferent to business because it's like it hasn't figured out how essential business is to the lifeblood of a city. It's like they just don't care. They don't get it, and that to me is even worse than having a plan.
James Mennie at the Montreal Gazette. Thank you, Jim.
That's a man.